Can you give your money to a bookie and not gamble? Well, you'd be surprised to hear that the answer actually is yes. Yes, you can. Through something called match betting, it's possible to know your profit before an event even starts. How? By using two bookmakers' offers against each other. You know the offers. Sign up and get a £20 bonus here, sign up and get a £40 bonus there. You can use Profit Accumulator's website to find these offers in seconds and use them against each other to make a steady profit each month.
So what does Profit Accumulator do and how does it work? Well, it works with something called match betting. Match betting allows you to put a bet on multiple outcomes of an event and come away with a profit using their advanced algorithm and system that you can access for free. The best thing is they have a step-by-step guide when you sign up on how to make a steady profit each month, and they will even help you pick the best bets.
Check out their free trial in the link below. Very fancy.
Oh, I'll say, very fancy. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's Friday Night Pint Live. I'm joined by Scott and Graham. Nicky is on his way. He's just running a little bit late. Late and Nicky, never thought I'd put them two work together. But he'll be joining us soon. Boys, how are you doing? You all right?
Good, mate. I'm good. Had quite a busy week this week. It's not been too bad. What about you?
Well, that's enough for you, Gray. You've said too much tonight already. Scott, how are you, mate?
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm all good. Cheers, mate. Been one of them days today. I've bloody been busy. Work's been mental. Stuck in traffic coming home. Rushing around, getting everything done, and yeah.
I've got a running commentary.
Yeah, you did actually. I know you got proper running commentary yesterday, mate, didn't you?
I felt like I was listening to Google Maps. I was told he phoned me up. He's going, I'm stuck in traffic. It was like bloody Google Maps all the way home. I'm just turning left down.
Yeah, that's it. Right, just before we go on, Matt, I ain't been able to do it, mate. Because I don't know how, and I can't get hold of Lawless. So thanks for the offer. We'll sort it out for you next week.
We'll definitely get that sorted out, Matt. So you can start off from the next video. We'll get that sorted, and we'll get a couple more of you as well. Because I think Miss Amoret is a bit. She's always on it. Like she's bang on it, but sometimes it can get a bit too much. So I'm going to keep my eye on it tonight as well, because I know that we might get a few trolls in here and dickheads. Can we say dickheads after 7:30? Of course we can. Listen. By the way, I've had a blinding week. I've had a terrible week. Honestly, it's been up and down. But no, I'm back from outer space. Just turn around now. Anyways, great. I've seen what you're drinking. Scott, what are you drinking, mate?
I'm trying to get through my last crate of Foster's.
Fucking scraping the barrel there, Sally.
Exactly. Now comes the abuse.
Listen, I was going to have a couple of beers tonight, but I thought, you know what? Jack Daniels and Coke tonight. Diet Coke, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah,
right, Sunday. Right, no, Sunday.
I've got
Sunday,
a
right?
rum sitting in the cupboard. I totally forgot about that. Oh, well.
I just thought, you know what? I thought it's been one of them weeks. I fancy a Jack Daniels, so that's what I've done. I've had a Jack Daniels. Right, look, not that we wanted to avoid the Curt Zuma situation tonight, as we can't avoid it. It's always going to be brought up, but there's not really much gone on in the West Ham world. So obviously, the title today is Zouuu or Boooo. Like that one, Gray?
I like that, mate. I like that. Very, very clever.
Basically, the fans are split over the Curt Zuma decision that David Moyes played him the other night, and obviously he's come out today and said he's going to play him on Sunday. Look, I didn't get to have my say the other day because I weren't there. I'm like everyone else. I was appalled, disgusted by Curt Zuma's action. When I see the video, it was horrible to see. It's not a nice thing to see, and all the punishment he's getting at the moment and the abuse is rightly so, and probably for the rest of his career now he's going to have it. Every ground he goes to, he's going to have it. So that's a punishment in itself. I think the media have gone a little bit overboard with it, if I'm being honest. I think the club have made a decision. The RSPCA have made a decision. The police have made a decision. Curt Zuma has been fined 2 weeks' wages, which is a lot of money to go towards RSPCA. David Moyes said today that he's going to have courses, which is brilliant. As I said to you, Scott, on the phone the other day, we don't know. We can't sit here and say whether Curt Zuma's done this before or not. Only Curt Zuma has done it. But now he's been caught. It's a chance for him to be educated, never to do it again. You know, as human beings, we shouldn't be doing it anyway. You shouldn't do it to another human. You shouldn't do it to an animal. At the end of the day,
Right. This is what I said on Tuesday. Like Nick had said, they're trained on how to speak to the media and stuff like that. I said, but you shouldn't. Common decency.
I mean,
you shouldn't need to be educated to teach you that it's wrong.
Yeah, I know. Look, we can all sit here and we've all made mistakes in life. We've all done it. You know, probably not as bad as that, but we have made mistakes. The thing is as well. I mean, I see they've got a petition going with over 300,000 signatures for him to be sacked. I'm like, I mean, where were these signatures about Mason Greenwood? Where were these signatures about the racism going on in football? I think there's a little bit of a witch hunt going on against Curt Zuma now. And as I said, look, all the abuse he's getting, yeah, he deserves it. Of course he does. But, you know, he's got his fine. He's now going to be educated. He's going to work with animal charities. You know, let's just, you know, I'm not saying forgive him and forget straight away, but to try to take his livelihood away from him, you know, I think that's a bit wrong.
The thing is, right, I mean, we were talking to Scott about it earlier. Some of the people in the media and stuff like that are acting, holier than now. You know, some have been convicted for drink driving, domestic abuse, racism, and that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's
the thing is, Gray. What I'd say, mate, is that if West Ham would have banned him for 10 games, I'd have supported it. If they'd have banned him for the rest of the season, I would have supported it. But they haven't. So I'm going to support their decision, whether it's right or wrong, whether people agree or not. As I said, Nick, you got the dress code tonight. Hello, mate. How you doing anyway?
I apologise. Sorry.
Nah, that's all right, mate. We all need a little kip now and again.
There's a little kip, mate, and there's a couple of hours sleep during the day. It was ridiculous.
You know what? I love that though. When you have a little kip and then you wake up and you've overdone it in that panic where you sit in, you don't know what to do. You just sit there for 10 seconds thinking, what can I do? What can I do?
I wouldn't have been here if it weren't for Chloe. Chloe, my phone's been on silent. It's been in my pocket, and I've been like asleep on the sofa. And it's only Chloe because she's out. I've got to go and help her do something very soon. So she's out, and she rung Jamie because she's been trying to ring me to say he's meant to be live in sort of 15 minutes. Is he up? And Jamie's come down and went, "You up?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Mummy says you got to be live in 15 minutes, mate, and you've never seen someone scramble in all your life." I swear.
But I don't know, mate. You should have seen me because I just literally finished filming a preview in the space of 15 minutes and then had to get all set up to put all that away. So I'll do this.
That's because you're a professional, mate, and you don't you get it all done and you fucking don't muck about, mate. Preview and Friday night pint, straight on the ball. I even see him packing away his green screen as I was logged on. But yeah, no, mate. Look, we was just talking about like. Basically, the fans are split over the decision that David Moyes has obviously not only chose to play him the other night, but he's obviously said that he's going to be available Sunday, and he will be for the foreseeable future. Unless I think the RSPCA have already turned around and said that they're not going to take no further action. They're going to educate him, which, as I said the other day, look, we can't sit here and say whether he's done it before. We don't know that. But he's been caught, and now he's got a chance to go on and work closely with these charities, and whether he might turn around and say, "Look, I'll donate a certain percentage of my wages to these charities every month going forward now to sort of help it." Look, at the end of the day, I've seen people on here saying about, "Oh, if you eat meat, you kill." I mean, it's just going a bit over the top now. As someone said there, Marcus Alonso. Was drink driving when he was 22 and killed an innocent girl, but he's gone on to have a football career. Suarez, we all know about him. John Terry went on to play for England with all the things that he done. It is you do make mistakes in life, and it's good that Curt Zuma's been caught. And I said, as I said at the beginning of the show, every ground he goes to now, he's going to get abuse. And that's punishment in itself. He's going to have that for the rest of his career now. He's going to have the people taking the mickey out of him. He's always going to have the cat thing brought up. But that's what he has to deal with.
Look, I think I've made my sentiments not quite clear. And be honest with you, for me, this is not news anymore. This is what they call olds, and this is what the media do. They when they've got a sort of a bee in their bonnet, they want to carry this on. I see the Michael Antonio thing, like asking them things outside the training ground. Michael Antonio's got a very, very good point in what he's saying. I don't think he should have stopped and got involved. I think that sort of prolongs the conversation. And this is what they do, the media. Look, I made my sentiments quite clear. I'm not a supporter of him not getting punished internally, but that's done. That's what West Ham have decided. I'm not the fucking king of West Ham, and I'm not the one that decides. That's my own moral thing. That's down to not only internally at West Ham, but that's down to the FA to sort out. The FA have quite, happily sat aside and done nothing. So that's down to them. They set punishment. If there was a something that could have been punished, I'm sure they would have punished him. West Ham have fined him £250,000, 2 weeks' wages. Could have been a bit more, but they've decided for £250,000.
I think that's the maximum they can do, though.
Yeah, they're not. The PFA doesn't allow clubs to fine players anything more than 2 weeks' wages.
Well, no, apparently they could have fined him £6, but it would have been a bit more paperwork. But they've fined him £250,000. £250,000 is a fine that was bigger than was handed out to some of the countries that were, chanted racist abuse during England games. So we'll just leave that there. The club of, with David Moyes, as he quite rightly said, his job is to win football games. He's one of our better players. He's decided to play him. As you say, there could be this outpouring, there could be this uproar, but I just think that sometimes, look, do I agree with it? No, I don't agree with it, but it's done. The club have decided the action they're going to take, and they've taken their action. I don't agree with it. I don't support it, but it is what it is. I'm going to West Ham to support West Ham. I'm not going to, protest about Curt Zuma or whatever like that. I'm not going to see Curt Zuma. We'll talk about the sponsors in a minute, Dylan, which I think some of them are ridiculous. I think I heard Graham say, a bit earlier on, some of the people that are piping up have got no right to pipe up at all, in regards to the moral aptitude of what he's gone and done, because, Stan Collymore, as you say, he's got caught beating up Eureka Johnson in a public place. I think another one, look, there's loads of them, but Jamie O'Hara smacked a 14-year-old boy in the face for pulling his hand away when he went to do the handshake. Some of these have got
also attacked his missus in front of their kid.
Yeah, exactly. Some of them have got absolutely no, like, to turn around and say he's disappointed in him and ashamed of him. The hypocrisy does, it speaks volumes, to be quite honest with you. But they need to let it go. That's what West Ham have decided. As I said, there is a body that could get involved at any minute and force West Ham into making that decision. And they haven't got involved. They haven't seen the need to get involved. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with Zouma. I think the club should have internally, done something about him, but they haven't. Simple as that. Case over. He's done his, he's paid his fine.
You say they have. They've fined him.
They've done all they can, really.
They've done something about it. And the thing is that I said what I said on the match reaction the other night, and I've got criticism for saying that. Look, it's my opinion. Other people got their opinion. I won't argue with other people. Entitled to their opinion. If you don't agree with me, that's absolutely fine. That's my opinion. You've got your opinion. It's not a problem. But at the end of the day, the FA come out and said they're not getting involved because it wasn't a footballing issue. This is what I was trying to get to, allude to the other night. And you guys are right in what you're saying. The people, it's been a media witch hunt against Zouma.
I mean, someone's just said there that we're making excuses for Curt Zuma. Who's making excuses for Curt Zuma?
We've condemned him. We've said he's a well. We can't say what we think because it's before 9 o'clock. But
you will not find anyone in this country that agrees with what Curt Zuma done. There's no one. Everyone agrees what Curt Zuma done is wrong. But what we're talking about is he's been punished. The RSPCA have looked into it. The police didn't even want to investigate it. The club have fined him. Whether they should have suspended him or not, I don't know. I mean, Declan Rice should have suspended his brother. I mean, I don't know what they thought that was going to do. Like, I'm in this situation now where I just, like, every day you're just seeing it and it's getting worse and worse and worse. Sky Sports News have made a fucking meal out of it over the last few days. I mean, who was the goalkeeper the other day? Kirkland on there, saying that this is worse than racism, and he's an advocate for mental health charities, and yet he's getting all these people saying he should be sacked. Look, I'm not saying what about Curt Zuma, but if you're like you're trying to turn everyone against him, what's that going to do for mental health for Curt Zuma? Now, I'm not sticking up for him, but I'm just saying.
And this is the thing, right? This is the other thing about it all, with the way the media have portrayed him. You know, you've got people like Keir Starmer piping up. Listen, it's got nothing to do with you've got nothing to do with football, mates. Just keep me or out of it. Do you know what I mean? And this is the annoying thing. There's so many people who are living in glass houses, throwing stones. And like you said, look, Zouma, what he did was disgusting. Nobody's ever going to deny that, right? But he is now receiving abuse on his social medias. He is receiving racist abuse on his social medias. None of the media outlets are now reporting that. It's all, Curt Zuma should be this, Curt Zuma should have done that. You know, this is the thing. The club have dealt with it. The RSPCA took the cats off. Like I said to you earlier on, Gray, I'm fairly confident he's going to get the cats back. Fairly confident he's going to get cats back because I know the way them sort of things work, and I've been involved in it before. So I'm quite confident they'll get. They may not say they're giving back, but I think he'll get the cats back. Right? The fine is a substantial fine for what it is. Do I think the fine is too much? No, but do I think other people have been let off with lesser fines and lesser punishment for worse things? 100%. And that is the thing for me. This is just a massive witch hunt. Like you said, educate him in how animals should be treated. Take him to animal shelters. Take him to places where they take animals that have been mistreated, animals that have been abused, animals.
You've only got to look at people that go to zoos. You've only got to look at people that go to zoos to look at animals. You've got lions and tigers in little cages and things like that. That's abuse. You know what I mean? But we go there for enjoyment, to have a selfie with a tiger that looks fucking miserable. You know, but we all love it.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. The unfortunate thing with the way the world is, with hunting and things like that, especially killing off the wild animals, things like rhinos, the zoos have gone from probably being part of the problem to now to sort of helping try and get animals back into the wild. You know, as much as you go to certain zoos in certain countries, the animals are mistreated. I would feel that in this country, they're treated a lot better than they are in other things. And now the zoos are helping repopulate the wild animals because of the over hunting that you get and stuff like that. So zoos have got a good part. As much as for me, they at the start of it, they were part of the problem. Now they're doing a lot more sort of
the conservation work. They're doing a lot more conservation work now.
You know, but
I mean, look, do you think there would have been this much outrage by our fans if this would have been Declan Rice?
Yes.
Be honest.
Yes, I do. I would have been.
We would have, but I don't think there would have been as much.
No, no. Listen, right. I've seen so many fucking people say, if it was this player, if it was that player, you wouldn't have been. And this guy here, Daniel Hawker, just admitted, boys, you don't want him banned because you need him. You're playing for something. I said he should be banned for the rest of the season. So don't sit there on your high horse telling me, oh, we're sticking up for him because he's, we need him because he's playing for something. I don't think he should play again. But it's not my decision. If it was my decision, he wouldn't fucking play. That is God's honest truth. I can't sit. And this is
why shouldn't he play?
Because I think that's what he should do internally. But I'm not. That's what decision I would have made. But I'm not.
But what I'm saying is, why shouldn't he have played if racist players, the people that have caused racism, have only been banned for 6 games?
Two wrongs don't make a right, Ryan.
I'm not saying that. But are you saying that you would ban him for the rest of the season? Then
I would have. If it was down to me, I would have. But that's it. I ain't in charge. He's playing. Simple as that. I ain't got a fucking say in the matter.
Well, I'm glad you're not in charge, to be honest.
I'm just saying. That's what I would have done.
That at the end of the day, that's your opinion. And as we've said many a time, everyone's entitled to it. Let's be honest. There's no right or wrong in this.
The thing is,
if he had served the length, if he had served the ban or anything like that, people would say, "All right, that's fair." You'll get people say it's not fair. The thing is as
well. This video apparently happened when he was at Chelsea.
Yeah.
So this ain't a new video. This is something that's come out when.
It doesn't matter whether it was at Chelsea or not.
Yeah, but if Chelsea knew about it, then why ain't they getting a little bit of stick? Because what comes out the next day that they've been fined for racism again in the football club, which has gone under the carpet. This is what I'm saying. Look, we all agree that Curt Zuma, what he's done is wrong. We know that, but for people to want to take his livelihood away from him, it's wrong in my opinion. I think it's wrong.
As I said, I think every single person, all of us sitting here, everybody in the chat, everyone watching, totally agrees what he did was wrong. And there's none of us are sitting here defending his actions. None of us. And none of us, I think, ever will defend his actions. He's been punished. He's got rehabilitation now. And he needs rehabilitation if you're treating an animal like that. Yeah. And hopefully now, he will learn from the mistakes he's made. We all make mistakes in life. We can't. It's this cancel culture that goes on that's fueled by social media and normal media companies. This is a problem. You make a mistake in life. If you make a mistake that's a bad mistake, then you're punished. He's been punished. Now we have to move on.
I mean, one of the most disgusting comments I see this week was from Trevor Sinclair that I'm going right off. I loved him as a football player, but at the moment he's becoming a right prick, if I'm honest. To bring Isla Caton into it, to say that West Ham, the whole night, the whole thing for Isla Caton was over, the Zouma thing was more important and more. I thought that was absolute bollocks because we had the message on the screen before from Nicola Isla's mum. We had the minute silence before the minutes applause, before the game, minutes during the game. West Ham have been unbelievable for Isla Caton, especially in the last few weeks with support for Trevor Sinclair. And he knew he was in the wrong, and TalkSport knew he was in the wrong because they've done it for clickbait because they deleted the tweet. I mean, it's fucking disgusting that Trevor Sinclair even had to bring the Isla Caton into that conversation. It's totally different. It's nothing to do with it. And Trevor Sinclair is another player. He's the one that got done the other year for being racist towards a white policewoman, a racist attack. He's been done for drink driving. Yet he can go on and have a career in the media, but yet he wants to sit there and say that Zouma can't have a football career.
Yeah,
the debate will rage on, mate. And unfortunately, like when it comes to punishment, and we can see it on this panel. What we got on tonight, punishment is not a straightforward thing. There are opinions on punishment and what is deemed a punishment. I said I would have banned him for the rest of the season. Scott said he wouldn't have banned him at all, and that's why you have to leave it to like a body, and they've decided between themselves he's punishment.
I said earlier. I sort of agree with you that I said like if West Ham would have banned him for 10 games, I would have supported it.
Yeah,
but I've supported their decision that they've obviously not seen enough in it to ban him. So I'm with that. I just want Curt Zuma now to. I mean, there's no denying he was man of the match the other night as well, which was ironic. Really, he was probably one of the best games. He made Dawson look good, So Zuma's going to have this for the rest of his career now, especially over this season as well. I mean, listen, in 2 weeks' time there'll be another football player who does something stupid, and this Zuma thing will just go. Everyone will be thinking like, "Oh, do you remember that Curt Zuma thing?" No, I don't, because now there's another idiot who's done something, You know, Mason Greenwood was the talk 2 weeks ago. No one's even mentioned him this week. TalkSport and Sky Sports News haven't mentioned that. So that's what I'm saying.
I mean, well, it's an ongoing police investigation, so they wouldn't be able to anyway. But
Graham, even when it happened, mate, they didn't even really talk about it. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm fucking sick. A journalist tweeted us earlier and wanted us to retweet her thing. Wants to do a Zoom call about it. I said to her,
it weren't your mate, was it? Oh, fucking Alan Repka, whatever his fucking name is.
No, we'll talk about that a bit later. But no, it was a journalist wants to do. But how is it news? This happened 4 days ago now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I said to her, look, I'm happy to do it, but what we're going to talk about something that happened 4 days ago. How the fuck is that news? It's not news anymore. They just want to keep on dragging it out. I got a feeling, mate. It's like it's because he plays for us, and it's unfortunate because we garner a lot of negative attention because of our reputation, because of our fan base, because of our, the stadium. You know, as soon as anything bad happens at West Ham, they want to drag it out tenfold. It's just the way it is. You look at the way they've reported on, when the Man United coach and all of that sort of thing happened. It's always a big topic when it comes to West Ham because they know that there is a lot of negative feeling towards West Ham. So they can dine out on this if you want for 4, 5, 6, 7 days, because it's always going to garner support, like negative support. It's never gonna, with West Ham, it's never gonna stop, so to speak. So that's why they do it. That's why they're, I'm just fucking sick to the back teeth of it.
Well, we've seen a couple of sponsors leave the football club. I mean, look, I'm going to be so gutted now that I'm going to have nothing to listen to at half time because Kissing Me, the sponsors of SeaWorld. Which
before we get on to that, can we take some comments?
Yeah, go on then.
Exactly, if that's all right. Yeah. Miss Amoret, got to say, I'll never forgive Zouma or his brother for their actions taken against them defenceless cats. Alan says, play him. Dylan says, lads, he basically said he doesn't care. He's the reason the sponsors are pulling out. What a clown. Matt says, I think you should do community service at a cat rescue centre. Miss Amoret says, I agree with him taking that action and all. I don't know why I put that one, sorry. Sophie said, it's a joke. He makes only one very bad mistake and people are asking him to be sacked. Dean says, I think the media are after a public hanging. Apart from West Ham and Moyes,
why did you sack that button so hard?
Should have suspended excavation, not good enough, and a disgrace. Steve says Laura Woods called Zouma vile, yet she laughs and jokes and talks about Jamie O'Hara, who battered his wife. Battered his wife at the same station that employed Stan Conroy, who battered Eureka Johnson. Adam Hall says people jumping on the bandwagon.
I've seen a couple of comments about the Greenwood thing saying, "Oh, it's an investigation," which is what we just said.
Yep, Miss Amoret said,
"It's a police investigation. What you're not getting?" We said that.
You talk about it.
We said that. That's what we said. I said that they can't discuss it because it's an ongoing police investigation. So,
Miss Amoret said, if he had any humanity, he'd give up more of his wages, in my opinion. And to be honest, I agree with that. Jarrod says, in a normal profession, he would have been sacked. Scott says, some people against Zouma think too long is making white and reverted to giving him racist abuse on Instagram. What's done is done, blown so out of proportion. Harming animals is a psychopathic trait. Zouma needs psychological assessment to see if he's mentally fit enough to fulfill his professional duties and represent the club. I think Dan touched on that when we were talking in the match reaction about, the aftercare of players, and it's again, I think, boils down to that situation where they're sort of detached from the rest of us in the real world. B Rat Pack says, punish him appropriately, ban him from having animals and move on, but to take his livelihood away from him is ridiculous.
But let me just say this now before we go on anymore.
I've only got a few more, but go
missing games for Curt Zuma, right? And I mean this with the greatest of respect. And as I said, I'm one that wanted him banned. Missing games for Curt Zuma is not going to be as much as a punishment than missing 2 weeks' wages and not getting that Adidas check through the fucking door any longer.
Yeah.
That is going to sting him bad.
Yeah, but give it a few months, mate. You get another sponsor. When it all dies down, you get another sponsor.
The thing is, as well, you are right, Nick. It's like you getting suspended for work and them saying to you, well, I'll tell you what, listen, you're going to get paid, but you got to stay indoors and not come in.
It's
Is
fucking
it? Do you know what I mean? That's not a punishment, is it? That's look, that's my opinion. Stevie Ray says Mickey showed some bollocks on how he responded to the biased and hypocritical Sky journalist.
Mitchy.
Sorry. Discussing Raven from Zouma, but you can bet your life that some of those calling for his head wouldn't think twice about stamping on defenders harm a spider who dares to enter their home. Just do a couple more. Steve Brown says footballers aren't role models. I totally agree. Steve WHU Bell donated $8.99. Cheers, mate. Anyway, lads, 15 quid for Southampton ticket. Not shabby. Hope to see you all down there for a beer or free. Nino says,
thank you very much.
Couple more. We'll have one more. Anis Ahmed says the wider issue, he should have got punished, but the FA and clubs need to find out why players think they are above the law. Too much money and power. Very sad.
Yeah, and I think the comments sort of prove it, that there's a split between the fan base. You know, listen, when Curt Zuma's on that pitch on Sunday, I want West Ham to win. You know, he's one of our better players. As I said, it's all been dealt with now. He's just got to get on. He's got to have big shoulders going forward for the rest of the season because he's going to get abuse. He's going to get a lot of abuse, and rightly so. So let's just get on with football now. And but yeah, as for the sponsors, I mean, we lost Kiss and Me. I mean, gutted now that someone ain't going to win that trip to Florida at the end of the season. As he said, they sponsor SeaWorld, which we've all seen that thing, Blackfish. You know, we've all been
go and watch it.
We've all been to SeaWorld in our lives, and we've seen.
I ain't.
Oh, well, Nicky ain't, but I have, and yeah, it's just yeah. So for Kiss and Me, I mean, yeah, they're just doing it. They've done a publicity stunt. It's backfired on them. To be fair,
yeah.
So
exactly when they released a statement saying that they were going to sort of look into their stance with the club. And this is a company that promotes you to go to visit Florida, to go to visit SeaWorld, that, you know, mistreats the animals that it keeps in the past. You know, one of their promotional pictures is a trainer standing on top of a killer whale and a trainer standing on top of either a smaller killer whale or a sea lion. You know, and this is the thing. Again, it goes back to don't throw stones when you live in glass houses. And, you know, look, at the end of the day, are we going to miss Kiss Me sponsorship? I very much doubt it.
Well,
you
I hope they thank out for half time because I enjoy their quizzes, to be fair.
This is the thing that, you know, it's just a silly stance from a company that promotes companies that mistreat animals. You know, this is what this has all come to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we move on to something else now?
Yeah.
Yarmolenko found himself in the under-23s today, scored and got sent off as well. I mean, to be fair,
I haven't seen that. I saw the headline he got sent off. I didn't see what he got sent off for.
Off was fucking ridiculous. That referee was trying to get his name out there. He was trying to get his name out there. Look at me. I'm in the under-23s. I've just sent off an 125 grand a week player, or 100, whatever how much he's on. I mean, that was ridiculous. I felt a bit sorry for Yarmolenko. Obviously, he's found himself in the under-23s to try to get a bit of game time and a bit of fitness. But yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, how does that? I'm not sure. Does that affect him in the first team now? Does he get a suspension?
No.
I
fucking wish it did.
Yeah, I could. No. Do you know what though? Like, I mean, that referee's had his moment today. He sent off Yarmolenko, not world class for us, but when he plays for Ukraine, he is a decent, different player when he plays for them. So he's a big name. And the referee's had his moments today. There was nothing in that, nothing at all. I don't even think the player sort of
No. The Swansea player threw his arms up as if to say, "What's he doing?" But he didn't hold his face or anything like that. That ref is just a joke. That's the biggest. That's one of the biggest joke decisions I've ever seen in all my years of football. Whether it's playing, managing, or watching, it's pathetic.
I don't know. I've seen some in the Premier League, mate.
That was a bit like the Souček sending off, wasn't it, against Fulham last season? Was it Fulham?
At least he actually caught the in the face.
The thing is, Yarmolenko was literally putting his arms out to fill for space, and he's tall, and he put his arm over, and the geezer went like that, ref, and it just the geezer. I swear by life, if you watch that clip now, the geezer's already got his hand on that red card as he was walking over.
He didn't even he just whipped that out quick. That was like the Chris Cohen red card all them years ago. It's Forest at Upton Park. He just literally he must have thought, this is my moment. Here's your red.
It's an absolute fucking disgraceful decision, to be quite honest with you. And again, I don't mean to. I know we're talking a lot about suspensions, and there's nothing to do with a thingy case. That referee should be punished for that. You know what I mean? Like that's.
I'm sure they'll appeal it. I'm sure they will appeal it.
Appeal it? Look, I've had a discussion. I was on Robbie's channel a few weeks ago discussing referees. Man, they have no one to answer to. They do what they want. Like I get worried about. Do you know when I see things like that? Wait, great. When I see things like that, yeah, I think some of them are fucking betting on the games. I honestly do.
But the trouble is,
Arsenal or us?
No, hold on. Go on, Gray.
I don't want to go. It's gone there. It's gone.
It's gone now. You said it 5 seconds ago. You're paying up.
I don't know about it. It was only about referees.
Say it, Gray. If it was about referee sacks, it's relevant.
No, I was just going to say, although they've got this refereeing committee, it's a closed shop. You can't criticise referees. The managers or the players get fined for criticising referees. They might get put down in the Championship or League One for a week, and then they're back reffing. So there's no accountability. I think they should start making after games. If there's been a contentious decision, they drag the managers and the players out in front of the camera like 10 minutes after the game. Start doing it to the referees and all, and let them explain their decisions.
The funny thing is, I think they do that in the Bundesliga. Because I remember seeing, you had that game where Dortmund played Munich. I think Munich nicked it. And Jude Bellingham come out and criticised the referee because he'd been done for match fixing before. And then they interviewed the referee on why he made the decisions that he made.
Sorry, let me just make this perfectly clear. I'm not accusing that ref of match fixing. That's a very strong.
You have, mate. You have, and it's been noted. It's been passed on to the rightful.
No, I'm just saying, but the thing is with that sort of thing, with a business like football and the betting industry around it. What I'm trying to allude to is I'm not accusing that ref of doing that, although I'm not saying he didn't do that. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is when you've got a closed shop and there's no one questioning you, you're not allowed to be scrutinised and all that sort of thing. It makes it very, very easy to manipulate these things. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think with the VAR decisions, how they arrive at these decisions, I think they should be like rugby, where it's mic'd up, so you can hear the conversation between the on-pitch referee.
I think there's too much swearing in football, mate. I think there's too much swearing in football for that to happen. The rugby
discussing the decisions, like not while the game's going on, but like they do in rugby, so you can see how they arrive.
I think they tried that one year. I think didn't they try that in the early 90s with football, Arsenal game, and Tony Adams fucking swore at the ref straight away, so they sort of binned that. But
this goes back to when you look at the procedures and the rules within the game. A player swearing is an automatic red card. Or a yellow card. One of the two. And this is the thing.
In a lot of other sports, it's only the captain that's allowed to approach the referee.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's been a bad week for Yarmolenko, really. I mean, his dive against Kidderminster, he should have been sent off for that. I mean, that was embarrassing. And then obviously find himself in the under-23s. He scored. He didn't look happy when he scored. I don't think he ever looks happy, to be fair. I've never never really seen him look happy. I mean,
to be fair, mate, I've seen I've seen a lot of reaction to that Kidderminster thing last week. He doesn't want to be at the club. He doesn't want to be here. He doesn't play enough.
I mean, why wouldn't he want to be here? He's the highest paid player. You know, he's just not getting game time. That's probably why. I mean, he was given a good opportunity last week against Kidderminster. I mean, someone with his ability should go out there and run that line and score a couple of goals against a team like Kidderminster. That's no disrespect to them, but we're different levels. I mean, it didn't look like that last week, but I mean, he was through one-on-one. You know, it would have been interesting if that had been on his left foot instead of his right, whether he would have gone down or not. Because if it had been the other side, I think he might have stayed on his feet and had a shot at goal. But I mean, he flung himself down like a fucking, like he was on ice skates.
And that's the frustrating thing with him, because the ability that he has got as a player, you know, you're not Ukraine's second highest goal scorer of all time for no reason, you know, and I think he's on the verge of beating Shevchenko's record. I think I know you're sitting there saying about, you know, he doesn't want to be here and all that. I think if he didn't want to be here, he wouldn't be turning out for the under-23s. You know, he's one of them players that you see when we had not so much in this squad that we've seen, but squads I've seen before from West Ham.
He's employed to do that. If my work say to me, you're going on a training course next week and I don't want to go, I think, fuck it, I've still got to go because they pay me.
Yeah, but we've seen before players have a sulk and not bother showing up and not bother doing stuff. I think it's not the fact he don't want to be here. He's probably frustrated at lack of game time. His performances haven't been up to scratch. You know, he's been unfortunate with the injuries that he picked up when he started it in form for us. Let's be honest. You know, when he that Everton game where he got that injury, he was looking brilliant, and then he got that injury and then got another injury, and it's gone downhill from there, and it's not working for him. But you know, as I said, he turns out for the under-23s. He always warms up with the under-23s and the youngsters when he's there, and he's being very professional about it all.
I've always said he always reminds me. I've always said
how's he not being professional?
How's he not being professional? Did you see the way his body language last week? He's not.
Oh, what? That's his body language. What's that got to do with anything?
Yeah, well, I don't think he is. I think he's a fucking waste of time. I think he thinks it's a fucking joke.
As I said though, like he always reminds me of someone. You remember when you was younger, you played over the park with your mates and they had their uncle standing on the touchline. Go, oh, do you fancy playing? He go, yeah, I used to be semi-pro. Come on. Runs around like he's carrying a fucking block of bricks on his back. But yeah, look, it's so that's the Yarmolenko discussion out of the way. Scott, anything?
You can't. Some people here, I disagree with this again. I don't think he is professional. I point him out to Ryan every week. The way he warms up and that, he treats it like he's in the playground. I don't think he's very professional. I think the way he plays now shows he's not professional. I think the way he warms up shows he's not giving his all. This geezer says a model professional, however, not Premier League material. He's not Premier League material, but he's not fucking model professional because he's just been done for fucking citing betting rules for going to do an advert in fucking Ukraine. So how's that fucking model?
I mean, he's a frustrating player, but I did say to you last week, and I still think that there's going to be one time this season he's going to score an important goal for us at one point this season. It's probably going to be one of the most important goals of the season because I could always see that happening with him. It might even be an assist or a goal, but because he's been so shit, he's going to be involved in one of our most important moments of this season. I bet you.
And that's the thing. Whether you love him or hate him, he has got that ability about him to be an important player. But that comment's right. He isn't Premier League material. That's the thing. He's too old. If we had got Yarmolenko 5 years previous to when we got him, we'd be seeing a completely different player. We're getting a Yarmolenko that's coming towards the end of his career. You know, he's not got the work rate ethic in him. He's not got the levels that he used to have, and that's why we're suffering now from that.
What was that?
I've got a couple more comments.
Go on, read the comments, mate.
Each on his own TV says donate £5. The problem is,
thank you very much.
Simon Bailey by the Boyle and Moyes shouldn't have played on Tuesday. Dealt with in-house. Money won't bother him. he earns more. Go to the next one. We've got another super chat. Liam says it's impossible to feel for Yarmolenko. Broke his sack, but every player who puts on the shirt needs backing.
I just don't think he works hard enough. I think he fucks about too much.
Scott Kennedy says, why is Yarmo playing for the under 23s? Is it just for minutes? More than likely keep his fitness levels up. It benefits him.
Should have him cleaning the fucking boots to get some of the fucking.
We don't play this Sunday, so
it benefits the first team and it benefits himself if he's getting minutes, because obviously he still wants to break that international record, the need of Shevchenko. So, it benefits both sides. Kent says, can we give Southampton some credit for pricing the cup game, please?
Well, that's the next subject.
No credit at all. They should have done it for £5. No, I'm only joking.
Tony Aaron Ryan said, didn't Mark Clattenburg quit the Prem because he would not favour the top 6? And last one, Mark says, hello, gentlemen. Love Friday Night Pint. Thank you very much to start the weekend off.
That Southampton comment, I think, should lead us on to the next subject. I think Southampton deserve a lot of praise for that. I think that the one of the factors of that is that it's a midweek game and it's, you got to travel. But it is very easy to price that game at a level where, it doesn't matter whether it's 15 quid to us or 45. We'll complain, but we'll pay it and we'll go. That's the way West Ham fans are. I think they deserve a lot of credit for that, Southampton. I think they've taken into account the day. The fact that you got to travel, and 15 quid is a very reasonable price. And we sort of tipped on this a little bit last week with the European game. Ryan's just done our 2 tickets and it's cost us £40 a piece. These clubs can, but that's what I keep on saying. Just because they can, it doesn't mean they should. And I think Southampton deserve a lot of credit for pricing it like that.
Yeah, I thought we would have got a bit more than the capacity as well. I think it was 4,800 we got. I thought there might have been, a lot more than that, double that, to be fair. But I don't know whether that's because it is a midweek game and police advice and they don't want 8,000 West Ham coming up from London on a Wednesday night, which shouldn't make a difference in him because we got just under, 6,000 for Spurs away in the League Cup. So, look, but yeah, look, credit to Southampton, 15 quid. You can't complain, can you? We paid, what did we pay for Kidderminster? 30 quid, and that was for, so no, I got no complaints. You get free tickets for 45 quid. So look at that, great quick maths. Free tickets, 45 quid, 15 quid.
Love it. What? You're like the male Carol Vorderman.
Yeah.
Carol Vorderman. Yeah, I just think they deserve a lot of credit. It's easy. It's easy for football sometimes to, as you can tell, to overprice. To try and price fans out of it, because if they went and priced it at 45 quid, they could have sold the third of the tickets and the same money. So,
well, I said to you, didn't I? I was looking at the Man United tickets the other week for someone. They wanted to go to a Man United home game, and it was the Middlesbrough game in the FA Cup. And they were charging 60 quid a ticket, Man United, for Middlesbrough at home in the FA Cup. And that's not even the worst thing, Gray. I looked at their league, and this is on the official Man United website as well. They're playing Southampton, I think it might be in the next couple of weeks. £150 a ticket they're charging. 150 quid. Now, bearing in mind, they've got a massive capacity at Old Trafford.
Yeah, it was like 74,000, isn't it? Or something.
They do that because they know they're going to get the tourists that pay it to watch Ronaldo. So that's why they do it. But that was on the official Man United website. If people don't believe me, go on to Man United's website and have a look yourself. I was in shock.
Yeah. Did anyone see last week? Did you walk? What was the game we played at night the other night? It's at Watford. Did you walk down? Did you walk down the concourse? Did you walk down the main bridge? Sorry.
Yeah.
Did you see the Premier League trophy?
Yeah.
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 What the fuck is that all about?
I don't know, mate. I think we was all slating Tottenham for doing it, and then fucking
I don't think it's Tottenham and all that. You know, we made the joke on Twitter, and then I saw it, and I had my head in my hands. But I mean, what the fuck is that? It's obviously a company that are going around a tour of grounds and having this, you know, parading this trophy around. But it's got like claret and blue ribbon. What the fuck do I want to have a photo with a trophy that we're never fucking won and never likely to win?
That's what I'm saying. I can understand if it was like the FA Cup or something, but yeah, for it to be the Premier League trophy, I mean, I was laughing at Spurs for doing it, and now I'm like thinking to myself, oh fuck's sake, should I delete the tweet for laughing at them because now we're doing it at our football club? I'm like,
like Nicky says, we're probably never going to get anywhere near winning it.
Shut up, Graham.
We've been near winning it and then blew it. So you know
when.
Last season,
well, we only lost by 46 points last year, so you know we was close. 46 points. You look at the previous seasons when we've lost it by 58 points and 66 points. You know we're getting close. I just said that we're not at the title race this season.
The last season at Upton Park, mate. You know, decisions have gone our ways. We got screwed over a lot that season. Certain performances that weren't put in that should have been put in, we would have been a lot better off than we were. Especially them decisions that went against us.
Yeah, no, it's mad. But look,
if I see it there again, I might just pick it up and run away with it.
Do you know what? I was just going to say that. I was surprised no one else did that.
That's what surprised me. We walked to Scott, went here. Look, there's a trophy over there, and it was just like they had it on a sheet on the ground. I'm just standing like they were trying to flog
it's
it.
obviously a company that are making money. I see it last week at Old Trafford. When I went to Old Trafford last week, there was about 5 of them.
Yeah, they had the FA Cup, the Premier League, the Champions League, which all Man United have won. So, fuck me, I was even grabbing my photo done with it. I was that impressed.
Yeah, it's obviously a company that's doing it, but I think you're barking up the wrong tree here, lads. To be honest with you, if you think it's worth coming out, no one's gonna, you know, in the grand scheme of things, want to have a fucking picture with a trophy. It's like fucking bullseye. This is what you could have won. You know what I mean? It's fucking
just get Benty Bully instead.
One.
But yeah,
couple more comments.
Yeah, go on, take a couple more comments. I've got to go very soon though. So.
Craig says, "Our lads, meant to be working tonight. I've got a shift swap so I can watch your content. Come on, you irons." Cheers, Craig. Thanks for that, mate.
It's great.
Ella says Southampton deserve a lot of praise for stuffing the Spuds.
As I'm saying, it's going to be a very, very tough game now.
The last 6 draws, we've had 5 Premiership teams. What are the odds on that? And John T says, guys, really hope we get a striker in the summer, but if I could target someone else, James Ward-Prowse would be amazing signing for West Ham. I think with that one, I think pending what our Southampton
go tapping that button like that.
I ain't got a choice. It's what it does. I can't tap it gently. I'm tapping it as gentle as I can. But yeah, James Ward-Prowse, I think it'll be a perfect shout, depending what happens with Southampton this season, where they finish. You know, I'm surprised he hasn't gone anywhere else, to be fair.
I'm a massive fan of James Ward-Prowse. I think he's a brilliant player. I don't think we're signing, though. I think he's a bit out of our price range.
We're
there's rumours that we're going to spend big in the summer, but I can't see James Ward-Prowse sort of coming to us. But what a player he is! And look, Southampton ain't going to be no mugs. You know, we went there earlier in the season and we drew 0-0. Probably worst game of the season so far. But
But that's the thing. To be fair, I'd rather chuck 50 million at Ward-Prowse than chuck 50 million at Kelvin Phillips.
Yeah, listen, both great players. Phillips is a really good player as well, and to link up with Declan Rice, if we're obviously keeping Declan Rice. But I mean, speaking of Declan Rice, someone just said it there. Obviously, I watched his overlap interview. I've actually got right into that overlap. I watched the Rice one yesterday, and today I watched the Roy Keane one and the Jamie Carragher one as well. And it's brilliant. I think Gary Neville does a really, really good job at that. He's one of the best in the business at it. The Declan Rice one was really good. You know, the way he speaks about, you know, playing for England, the West Ham, David Moyes, it was brilliant. But I also watched another thing today that got released today, the Wayne Rooney documentary. And it's an hour and 45 minutes. And honestly, I didn't want it to end. It just shows you how good Wayne Rooney was, especially during Euro 2004. you forget how good that kid was. It's frightening. It's frightening how good he was. But it's a great documentary. It's on Prime. So if you got a spare hour and 45 minutes and you want to watch it, and you're a fan of Wayne Rooney, go and watch it. It's brilliant.
Still think with the 1 Euro 2004 if he only got injured.
Oh, 100%, mate. He was world class. And he even says in it, he said, at that time, I was the best player in the world. So I'm not being arrogant, but I was. He felt he was the best player in the world. And it's a great documentary. It's a great film if you've got time to see it. But yeah, back to Declan Rice. Great interview. Great interview.
To be fair, I've seen a lot of people. I've seen sort of articles written about it and all that sort of thing. Sort of basically turning around and saying, "Oh well, that's it," and because of the comments he made about he wants to win everything, and that's it, we're going to lose him now, and all that. It's confirmed. Right? He didn't say nothing that we didn't already know.
Yeah, but as he said, mate, if you're playing football and they're not your ambitions, you shouldn't be a football player. Of course, every football player wants to win things. It'd be nice if he does it with us, it'd be wonderful. But unfortunately, we're not that sort of club unless something happens drastic in the next couple of years where we get a multi-billionaire owner come in. It's not going to happen with us. But I'll tell you something now, if Declan Rice won the FA Cup with us and he went on to leave the club and then go and win titles with City, that FA Cup would probably mean more to him winning it with us than winning league titles with City or Chelsea.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It is the thing, and it's the club. I think Moyes touched on it today in his interview in the press conference. The club wants to match Declan Rice's ambition.
No, they don't.
No, the club want to match Declan Rice's ambition.
No, David Moyes wants to.
Right. So for me, David Moyes is the club. He's the one that wants to. At the end of the day, the board don't. Certain parts of the board don't. I'm not going to say all the board. Certain parts of the board don't want to match anyone's ambition. They're out for their own ambition.
That was Scott. That was an interesting thing that came out of that interview as well. Is that he nearly got released by West Ham?
Yeah,
50% of the coaches wanted him and 50% didn't. It was only that they stuck with him. So we could have made the same mistake as Chelsea.
All I can say is, mate, let's hope they sacked that 50% that didn't.
Yeah.
Look, that's the thing. Look, Rice, if we win Sank, if we qualify for the Champions League, I really feel we've got a chance of keeping Declan Rice. If we don't, I see him going. Really, really see him going. And it'd be a shame, but he's probably the best player we've had at our club for such a long period of time. And I keep seeing, I said to Graham the other night, loads of people I'm talking to now are comparing him to Bobby Moore. The way he graces the field, the way he moves, the way he reads the game.
A lot of people have compared a lot of people to Bobby Moore over the years. Yeah. Trust me, I've seen many of them. I remember fucking people comparing James Tompkins to Bobby Moore.
Really? Fucking James Tompkins is more like Bobby Davro.
Yeah, I know what I mean. But any player that comes out of the academy, they any defender, they automatically sort of like talk about Bobby Moore.
But these people are saying in the way he graces the pitch.
Yeah. I do get the comparison sometimes the way Bobby Moore played, and you look at the way Declan Rice played as well. But listen, Bobby Moore's another level. He's another level to what he achieved in the game. But listen, Declan Rice is a great player. I watched him the other night, and he didn't have his best game. But
he still drove us on. He still drove us on.
I can quite honestly say he's the best player I think I've ever seen at the club. Declan Rice. I think he is the best player I've ever seen at the club. I think there are levels, and it's easy to go for an attacker. Obviously, my favourite player ever is Paolo. I love that. Love watching that sort of thing. But when you look at grace, and you look at it's not around the foot, it just makes everything look so easy, and that is when you're playing in that position. I used to say it about Carrick. Carrick was the same. I preferred Carrick over Cole because Carrick was a player that could make everything look easy. He looked like he had a lot of time. He was a lovely footballer. He had a lovely pass on him and all that. I think Declan is a couple of levels above Carrick.
and I thought Carrick was great. But I think he's the best player I've ever seen grace the club. I know there's going to be comparisons.
I think someone made a good comparison now between Rice, more like Billy Bonds as a player, and I can probably see that more, really.
Yeah.
He does everything to the highest standard. He trains to the highest standard. He plays football to the highest standard. He conducts himself off the pitch to the highest standard. Everything he does is done to the very highest standard. Everything.
And that's how it should be for every player at that football club. There should be even senior players looking up to Declan Rice, the way he conducts himself as a person on and off the pitch. I think, and they even said it, Gary Neville said it, that they could see Declan Rice in the future being part of the media and things like that, because just the way he is. And I love him at West Ham. Would I say he's the best player I've ever seen at West Ham? Probably the best youngster. Canio is probably the best player I've ever seen. And as much as I don't really want to say his name, but Pint as well was unreal. But he only done that for a season and a half, really, because when he left us. But I've got to say that, Paulo Di Canio for me, he's probably the best player I've ever seen play for West Ham.
Yeah,
but Declan Rice is. I mean, someone just said there, Dixie. Yeah, Dixie's my all-time hero. I love Julian Dix, but look, Julian Dix was a great player, but now Declan Rice is levels above what we've got now and what we've seen come out of the academy in the last few years. And that's no disrespect, because we've had some great talent come out of the academy in the last few years, but since the likes of Cole, Carrick, and all that, I mean, Declan Rice is up there.
Yeah, of course he is. Great. It's great. You've seen a lot more players than what we have. What's your thingy on it?
I say as a player who can impact a game. You see, I've been lucky enough to see teams with a lot of great players in it, like the teams in the 80s, who all, as a unit, they were fantastic. But as a player who can drag a game forward on his own, I'd say he's up there.
Yeah, no, definitely. He can change a game for West Ham. He can make something happen. If people are dropping their levels, he'll get on the ball and pick it up and drive it forward to win a free kick or win a corner or create something. And that's what he's added to his game. If you look at when he first started for West Ham, he was a centre-back that then got into midfield, and he even admitted it. He was a centre-back playing in midfield, but he's adapted his game. And when he goes away with England, he plays alongside other world-class players that makes his game better. I mean, you could put anyone in a team. Look at Frank Lampard Lampard Jr. when he was at West Ham. He was a good player, but when he went to Chelsea and got put around all these big international players, he become a better player. It's fact. If you play around better players, you become a better player yourself. So, imagine Declan Rice in a Man City team. I mean, that's no disrespect to the players we've got, but he steps up that level in a Man City team. He'll be classed as like world class. You know what I mean?
Let me just read the super chat. Gravy Obi donated €4.99. Thank you very much, mate. I wonder why Rice didn't talk about his transition from Ireland to England. Maybe he said it was a no-go area because he knows it's a sensitive subject. Probably. I wouldn't want to bring it up. It's sort of one of them things that, again, he got pulled through the fucking ringer a little bit when he done that. Something that's his choice. And look, I know Ireland fans were going to be disappointed and, disgusted and all that sort of thing. He's been branded a traitor and all that sort of thing. But, he feels like he's an England player. And we spoke about this at the time. How many
England players are converted to Ireland?
Yeah, quite a few. None that we'd miss, but quite a few.
This is the thing now. The unfortunate thing with a lot of the home nations, their pool of natural born players from their own countries is very limited. The quality of them as well. that's why you're now getting a lot of English players turning out for the likes of Ireland, Northern Ireland, and things like that. I think Rice made that decision probably because he didn't want to be the next Ryan Giggs. Giggs, he could have played for England, chose to play for Wales. He didn't feel like he'd get picked for England. And then England went through a period where they were crying out for a natural left-sided winger. And
the thing is, Ryan Giggs as well, he's Welsh.
I think the answer lies in the overlap. I think the answer lies there. I want to win everything in football. I want to win everything in football. He's an Englishman and an Irishman. He's got Irish blood, born in England, lives in England, works in England. And he said it from in his interview. He wants to win everything. Has he got more of a chance of winning that with Ireland or England? I'm sure he's very proud of his Ireland caps. I'm sure he is. And I'm sure his family are very proud of him. But if you've got ambition and you feel as much English as you do Irish, he was born here and he was raised here. So he is, by definition, English. Then, he's... And when you look at... I mean this with the greatest respect to Ireland, because I know we've got quite a few Irish fans and, we're thinking about going to Ireland. I don't want to be lynched and fucking beat up when we go there. But he got released by Chelsea. He almost got released by West Ham. He might have chose Ireland as a fact that, well, I may never get chosen. Low on confidence. I may never get chosen for England. I'm going to go and play for Ireland because I can. No, I'm sorry, but it might be.
I'm laughing at this comment. I think Tony Cascarino's nana an Irish Wolfhound. That's how he qualified.
The thing is, he at the end of the day, he like I said, I'm with you, Nick. I think that his ambition is he wants to win everything, and he just felt that England he had more chance of doing something like that. And let's be honest, he's come a lot closer in his first two major tournaments for England than Ireland have in since '94, USA '94.
He's come closer in. Well, he didn't play in the World Cup, did he? So the Euro 2000, he's got to a final in his first ever tournament, more than what the Golden Generation ever fucking achieved. You know what I mean? So this is no disrespect to Ireland, but if he had always had a chance to play for England, he was always going to do it. Ireland give him that opportunity. He never played that their mistake was not giving him a full cap.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I completely agree, lads, that he is English. But the point I'm making, if he took the opportunity, from an Irish young lad, I get a lot of grief from my mates for him.
How many games did he play for Ireland?
I think he played. Was 3 or 4? Wasn't
Three or four, wasn't it?
Yeah,
3 or 4.
Has he taken a chance away? Basically, him going to England has given someone a chance now to step up.
No, but he played all during the as a kid, didn't he? But who gives a shit? Get over it. He was better than them. He could play for Ireland. He went and played for Ireland. Then he could convert to England. So that's within the rules.
Jay's asking, why are we watching West Ham TV? Why are we watching West Ham TV? What is the matter with us? Why are we watching West Ham TV? Well, for one, we're not West Ham TV. We're West Ham fan TV. Fan TV.
Well, he must be talking to someone.
Yeah, we're not watching. Sorry, Jay.
He can't be talking to us. He must be talking to someone in the con.
Well, he's got West Ham shirts on in his profile, so he's a West Ham fan. So
why am I watching West Ham TV? I'm not.
Because he clicked the button.
Got a few more comments. This is going back to what we're talking. 50 million on Phillips, 50 million on Rafinha. I'd rather spend the dosh on Ward-Prowse. Ings went to Villa. I think James Ward-Prowse isn't an unachievable target. Miss Amaret wants to know what happened to on the social, Nicky.
No, I couldn't find time to do it. I got so overwhelmed.
Hang on a minute. On the social. That's not Nicky's show.
That's
Ryan's show. That used to be Graham's show, but it's Ryan's show.
Sorry, Ryan.
Sorry,
you know what? I saw something about musings. And
I have had a mental week, Miss Amaret, but don't worry, I'll be back next week firing on all cylinders.
And Nicky will be back with musings as well. Stevie Ray says Ward-Prowse would be a statement. And Ahmed said he turned around and said he signed a contract in the summer. The fees with the contracts, when they sign new contracts, it just bumps their fees up for the clubs. Talking about the trophy outside, Adrian says most people just walk past it laughing. I think that was me and you, Gray. We did that. Matt Pell says, hey, Nicky, before you go, I've got an idea for a spoof video for you guys. Would I lie to you?
The thing is, though, some of the stories Nicky's had over years, you'd be like, I think it's a lie, but it's Nicky telling it. So.
Kevin Finch reminds me of Jordan Henderson. Nicky, before you go, trucking over this one for Nicky, before you go, will you be at the Canting House on Sunday? I'd love to meet you lot.
Why are you asking if he's going to be there Sunday when you know he's not going, Scott?
I'm reading the comment. I know Nicky's not going.
So
I was waiting for.
So why are you asking Nicky if he's going to be there?
That's what it says in the comment. Anyway, Nicky's not going to be there. Ryan and Graham are going up. I was meant to be going, but I've been called into work, so Graham's taking my place for this one.
So yeah, me and Graham will be in the Canting House having something nice to eat and a couple of beers before the game. Because we'll
We'll have a lovely bit of lunch. We'll have a lovely bit of lunch.
Yeah, we'll have a lovely ploughman's lunch.
For me, mate. It's not my mouse; it's the MacBook. There's nothing I can do about it, I'm afraid. I'll get a portable mouse instead. Dave Brooks wouldn't mind taking a shot on getting Brojar from Southampton via Chelsea. He's the one that caused us a lot of problems when he come on, when he
looked talent. He played well the other night against Spurs as well. Played really well. Big talent.
Continue 5. Gary Neville is seeing next Tuesday. Him and Sky so desperate to Rice to move. He seems a different kind of character. The grass isn't always greener. His mate man ain't an automatic for these big teams.
But his mate Mount has won trophies.
Exactly. I totally agree.
The biggest trophies.
John says Rice is a cross between Moore and Beckenbauer. That tackle in the box the other night was awesome. Stevie Ray says, no wrong with Tompkins. Bobby Moore was a bit of a stretch, though. A bit like comparing Maradona to Hugo Porfirio. Triple X says Rice is more like Franz Beckenbauer. He started his career in midfield and ended up in defence, and I think that's how Rice's career will pan out. Chris H says, personally, I believe West Ham would be 14th or lower without Declan Rice. That's how impactful he is.
Well, I think we'll be bottom 3 without Bowen. I think Bowen's been unbelievable this season, and I think he's definitely a contender for Hammer of the Year. He's been unreal. It's such a joy to watch Bowen play football. I just love it. He's like a throwback, an old-fashioned player that just works his socks off, and now he's getting goals and assists, which we all wanted. Since you slagged him off, Scott, Bowen's gone away. He watched Friday Night Pint and thought, do you know what? I'm going to prove that Collier wrong. I'm going to prove that Scotty Collier wrong.
And you know what?
He scored like 6 in 6, isn't it? Is it 6 in 6?
Do you know what? I'm glad because I said it, and I'm going to give Lawless some credit because Lawless said it. He's proved us both wrong, and I'm overjoyed that
he's getting credit for being proved wrong for.
Exactly. Me and Nicky were backing him. We ain't getting credit.
No, because you were backing him at the wrong time. Now it's time to back him.
No, we weren't.
Why? What's going on here?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. He knows he's wrong.
You're giving yourself credit for being wrong.
Yeah. No, I'm not giving myself credit. I said I'm happy that I'm wrong.
No. You just said you're going to give Lawless credit. What are you going to give him credit for being wrong?
No, I'll give Lawless credit because he was saying it as well. That's all.
Well done, Scott. You fucked up.
This comment here, Graham, how's the whipping missed this?
What? The whipping missed.
What's the matter with you tonight? Just waiting for the weather to get a bit warmer.
If you had a drink.
You know what, Gray? I can't wait to see you out in all your ice cream gear and that.
Have you had a drink, Scott?
Huh?
You had a drink.
He's got Foster's, so
yeah, I've got Foster's. I ain't had a drink. I'm tired, man. I've had a busy day. Look. I can't. You know me. I can't talk properly anyway.
I love it when you try to read me. You lose your teeth. Who's this WhatsApping me? But,
Nicky, did you star a comment?
I'll start this one.
What one? What, the
That
Mr.
one that you
Wiki?
just read. Yeah.
Oh, right. No, I didn't know
Oh,
whether.
no, I think someone said wanted to know about Nicky versus Alan.
Yes.
Not your stepdad, Nick.
Me and Alan.
Alan Repka, whatever his fucking name is. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I sent Nicky a tweet trying to wind him up. I said, "Oh, Nick, look at this," and like Nicky got on it, and he just ruined the geezer, finished him like Ardukan.
Yeah. This look, I spoke about it on the podcast, but he, without going into I don't want to, be too hard on the fella. I think he's learned his lesson, to be quite honest with you. But let me just say this: just because you can, doesn't mean you should at times. You know what I mean? Like, and I took it for what it was, and I think you're the one that sort of sent me the tweet. Right, I wouldn't have seen it otherwise. And he was trying to have a dig at me, at the channel, at everything, and he was trying to be clever about it, and try and do it without, he was putting his stuff out about racism and everything bad that happened to the club, and then put my our picture there with the Astragugu thing, and he thought it was funny. He thought he was having a subtle dig, and I asked him, why have you used my picture, basically, in a tweet that's basically outlining every bad thing that's happened to West Ham. So he was trying to say that we were one of the bad things that have happened to West Ham, and he, instead of trying to explain himself or give me an answer, then he tried to give me some legal mumbo jumbo. He didn't want to give me an answer. He just said, I can. I could, basically, because I can. So I thought, all right, fair enough. And I ended his fucking life, to be quite honest with you. He's a reporter. He's had to go on private. He's getting dogs abuse. And I am sorry for the abuse, but it's no more than, me and Dom has had to pay, over the years for the same things. And we have to get that abuse. He thought he was being clever and I was cleverer. And it was, it ruined him.
As I said, he's just another Jacob Steinberg in my eyes. Typical journalists think they can give it out. As soon as you give a little bit back, they start trying to get all technical because they know a few long words. You know what I mean? Like, fuck him. He wanted to play. He wanted to play. He started the fire. You chuck petrol on it. He didn't like it. He ran off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was that, really. That was that.
Anyway.
Right, boys, I've really got to go because I'm meant to be somewhere at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, go on, mate. We'll carry on with for a little bit, and we'll do the Ask Us Anything. We're going to that now. But thank you. You come, you moaned, you're gone.
Oh, I'll see you in the week. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window.
Yeah, bye-bye. Oh, I'll show you more, Nick. Go on, Gray. You can have your say now. Anyway, look.
I don't have to throw a childish strop.
Yeah, we'll carry on for the next half hour or something. We'll do a little bit of Ask Us Anything now. This is the part of the show where... what is this part? This is the part of the show where you can just ask us anything, any questions, West Ham, anything you want. Just chuck your questions in. We'll go through them. We'll have a little bit of a laugh.
First question up. Freddie says, Graham, what's in your display case?
What, this one?
Head. Yeah.
Oh, my brother's got some. He's got some old coins he's collected over the years. They're in.
I like this.
It's none of my stuff. It's my brother's stuff. So
Drano has donated 4.49. We could be down. Could be 7 down with players leaving and contracts not being renewed if things go really wrong. Rice and Bowen leaving, a lot to replace in the summer. I was having a chat with Graham and Lawless during the Watford game about this, and it's quite worrying, really, when you look at the players that are out of contract and the players that are rumoured other clubs are interested in. You know, we've got a lot to replace, considering we haven't replaced players from last season. you know, the striker situation. You know, you got Criswell's getting on now. Bonner's obviously getting on. Diop's not working out too well at the moment.
Yeah, so it's a big summer for the club. There's going to be a lot of ins and outs. Well, hopefully a lot of ins in the summer. But yeah, as you said, mate, it's keeping hold of the top players. That's going to be the main thing in the summer. But it's something a little bit different from Kaz. What sport would you ever go at in the Winter Olympics? Well, I'm gonna sit back and let you two answer this because I hate the cold. So there is no way I'm going to be in the bar watching you lot do the Olympics. I wouldn't mind having a little go at the bobsleighing though.
Yeah, it's a bob. I wouldn't want to do the skeleton, like basically head first on a tea tray down the bloody fucking night, then mental. But probably I'd like to do toboggan or bobsleigh.
Do they have boxing on ice? I'll do that.
Do you know the funny thing is, right? I'm with you, Gray. I wouldn't fancy the skeleton, but I'd definitely be up for the bobsleigh or the toboggan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks great fun.
Boxing on ice, I think Chris Eubank Jr. looked like he was on ice the other week, the way he was flinging his arms and legs around. But I think I'm more of a summer man. I think I'll do that.
You know, people saying ski jumping, right? I must admit, after watching that show, The Jump, and seeing how many people got injured.
I can see you doing Eddie the Eagle down there. Look, Graham. Right.
I'll just be going fuck all the way down, pretty much.
Craig is saying, if you had to pick a squad number, what would you pick and why? My number would always be, growing up, was always number 3 because of Julian Dix. I didn't even play left back, but I had to take that number 3. I played right back with number 3. I played centre mid with number 3. When I moved on to men's football, I got the number 6 shirt because I played centre mid, but I still wanted the number 3, but the left back wanted number 3. But so yeah, number 3 would be my pick.
Well, I always had number 3 because I played left back. So
yeah, you nicked my number 3, you bastard.
I was a right back, so I always had number 2. That was my favourite number.
Beautiful. Dan Sam Ryan, mate, what's your favourite picture behind you, fella? Great stuff as always, boys. Irons. I don't know. I've got some nice ones, but I've got that one there as a portrait of like the bowling. You can't really see it properly on camera, but there's the bowling there, and then there's the London Stadium in the background. There's a picture of like East London and that. So that's one of my favourite, and also my signed 1980 FA Cup winner with the original ticket and programme from the final and photos. So yeah, I've got some more stuff that I need to put up, but I just ain't got time. And I need to make some room. I'm going to have a change about with the pictures and that in the next few weeks.
Will X says Vindaloo or Korma?
Oh, Korma all day long. Even I sweat on a Korma. You know, I'm not really good with hot stuff.
I always have a Korma on my dress.
Some people call me hot stuff, but no, I'm more of a Korma man. But I agree with that, mate. I have upped my levels to a madras.
I do like a madras. I've got to admit.
I think Vindaloo, mate, I'll be that'd be a game changer for me.
Too hot for me. If I had to choose the two, it's a Korma, but I'm more of a biryani or a boona type. Tough question.
Lamb boona, chicken boona, prawn boona, 6 poppadoms, chips.
Tough question here. Steve WHU Bill says, on the social or musings?
On the social all day long, mate. Musings is just a poor man's social, isn't it? They're both good shows, both different. And then obviously I answer the questions, Nikki reads out the comments. So they're 2 different shows, but 2 great shows done by West Ham Fan TV. Obviously Graham, the founder of On the Social, who stepped away because he's probably bothered. I stepped in.
No, it's because I was bloody managing Thames Ironworks.
Yeah, well, listen, mate. If you want to take the reins, mate, you're more than welcome to take it back.
No, mate, I couldn't. You got big shoes to fill, mate.
Mate, I'm only a size 8, mate, so they're not that big. But I'm a size 9 in Adidas AstroTurfs.
Ken Emma says, best away ground you have had food at?
Well, the thing is, I was disappointed because everyone's been banging on about their food, right? and I didn't see a pie or anything in sight, and I ended up getting a free plant burger from McDonald's, which, to be fair, weren't that bad because it was free. I would never have paid for it, but I was giving out McDonald's. I was proper winding my mate up though because he didn't go, and he see that they was giving out McDonald's. He went, "Was they giving out free McDonald's?" I went, "Yeah, mate." I said, "I had a Big Mac meal, strawberry milkshake." I said, "They give out apple pies at half time." He was going, "Oh fuck!" So I knew I shouldn't have given my ticket away. I don't know. Best away ground you've had food at?
Don't really eat.
I'll tell you what. There's this thing on Facebook where people post pictures from grounds. Reading do a Chinese box for a tenner, and it looks the absolute nuts. Honestly, I felt like buying a season ticket at Reading just for that. Just for that.
Again, we don't normally eat at the grounds, do we? If we eat, we sort of eat at the
like around
on the way up there at the services, don't we? We don't really stop at the grounds to get some grub.
Yeah, Scott, pull up that Wikipedia one.
This one.
Yeah. Him saying about I remember he was he'd probably left by the time I started Bonds in '87, and I remember Mick McGivern coming in and taking us for training. Never got West Ham kit for London Cup games though.
Do you remember Mr. Lee and Mr. Skelton?
Yeah.
They come to my school, and Mr. Wilshaw as well. They come to my school because we were so shit and struggling. It was like they were like the Big Sam of the day. Like they come in to help us fight relegation because we were shit. But they were great teachers, and I was shit scared of Mr. Skelton. Mr. Skelton was another level. He was an horrible bastard. But Mr. Lee was a great.
He was a really good teacher. I liked him, but didn't mess with him. Didn't mess about in his classes or anything.
Mate, I remember playing when we had our Year 11 football match against the teachers. I remember before the game, like my science teacher, he was about 8 foot tall. He was a rugby player. I used to give him so much abuse in science, right? I remember him and Mr. Lee both looking at me saying, "You're getting it today." And within 2 minutes, mate, they both booted me. And I thought, all right, we're in a little bit of a game here. And then I snapped my head a year. And he tried to chin me. And I was a 15-year-old kid.
Hooligan, absolute hooligan.
Matt Powell says, "What American sport would you watch? Baseball, American football, basketball, ice hockey, or dodgeball?"
Well, I have been to a live NFL game, so I'd like to go to a baseball game.
For me, it's got to be ice hockey. I watched a lot of basketball. I used to follow London Towers when they were going years ago. But yeah, it's ice hockey for me.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to America so many times and I've tried to get on with the NFL. I can't. I really can't. It's one of them sports I just can't get grips to. But I'm looking forward to the halftime show at the Super Bowl this weekend. Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg and all that. That'll be decent.
Should be a good one, that one.
I'll probably watch more basketball if I'm honest, which is a massive sport out there. So yeah, I'll probably say that. Someone said Ryan orders omelette and chips at the Indian. Do you know what, mate? If I could get away with it, I would. The only reason I had them addressed is because I was thinking of getting a korma, but my daughter ordered them addressed, and I thought, there's no way. I'm not having this. My daughter's ordering a curry hotter than me, so I've got to, even if it burns. But it was actually all right, so I didn't mind it.
Steve WH Bell says, "Any news on Friday Night Pint Alive 2?"
Yeah, I think we're going to try to organise it for around April time, May time. We're going to sort out a venue, whether we're going to go back to the same place, which was a great venue, by the way. We'll see if we can get it there again, or maybe move a bit more in towards Stratford Way, like Dagenham or something like that. But yeah, no, we're definitely going to do one, and we're going to do it a little bit different this time. Hoping to get a couple of ex-players there. So yeah, we'll definitely do something. But listen, FMP one was memorable.
Very memorable.
It was a moment I never thought would happen, and it was a great night. And I think it's a night that we all needed. And but we'll definitely do it, Steve. And I know you'll be there, mate. Steve's wondering whether we're going to do it at the region again, because he can get in on the green a few hours before and have a few cheeky little drinks before the live show. Next
one, Steve T says, for Graham, especially seeing he's the oldest, Minder or the Sweeney?
Well, I watched the Sweeney now, like when they repeat it on ITV3, I think it is. Watch that, love it. But when I was a kid, like I was a bit too young to watch the Sweeney, but I always loved Minder.
I used to watch Minder as well.
So did
So
I.
I love
Tournament.
Minder. To get that and the Professionals. I used to love the Professionals.
I remember the Professionals. Minder, I used to watch all them. Minder, Sweeney, Professionals. But yeah, Minder was always the one for me as well.
Yeah, I didn't mind Minder.
Next one. WNBCWS. Sounds like a news channel. What's your favourite West Ham supporting band?
Band?
Yeah. Mine's Iron Maiden.
I think that's the only band I know that support West Ham.
Yeah,
Cockney Rejects. I'll go Cockney Rejects.
They're the only two I know that are like that with the band support them, not like individual.
I spent a lot of time with Jeff Turner, obviously from the Cockney Rejects. He used to train down the Peacock, and what a lovely fella he is. Honestly, I'll never forget the first time I met him, because I was, when you look at someone, you think I recognise him, and I looked at the tattoo on his leg, and he had a West Ham badge, and I thought, yeah, I know him from somewhere, and then it clocked, and I thought, that's Jeff Turner from the fucking Cockney Rejects. I thought, I've got to fucking have a chat with him, and I was on the bike at the time, the exercise bike, watching the pro spar, because that's what you used to do. You used to get on the exercise bike, pretend you're doing something to watch all the pros sparring, and then he come and sat next to me on the exercise bike, and we just got chatting away. And what a lovely fella he is, honestly. Great.
My brother loved the Rejects.
Yeah, he's a top bloke. Absolute, really. He used to come down, because I think he used to live sort of like Kent way, but he used to come down to see his mum. So he used to train in the Peacock on like a Wednesday and a Thursday night or something like that. And I used to love talking to him about football, about West Ham, he used to tell me stories that they used to go like do concerts in a little village in Argentina that no one's ever heard of, but there'd be people in West Ham shirts because they supported West Ham because of the Cockney Rejects. And he said the amount of times they used to fight at like venues, and it was some great stories. He's a top bloke, Jeff, honestly.
John says, what's your favourite British gangster film?
Oh, gangster film. I actually like Legend, the Tom Hardy, the Craze film.
There's been a few. I quite Gangster #1 was good.
I know there's not a lot of people that like them, but I'm a big fan of the Rise of the Foot Soldier franchise. I know it went a little bit downhill after probably a lot of people say 2. I think 3 was all right, but I actually I love British films anyway. I'm a big fan of British films and like the football ID and things like that. And I like all them sort of films. It's just what I like. Some people don't like them. Some people like watching the American superhero films and Marvel comics. That's not really my cup of tea. I like British films, and yeah, I'd have to say.
You seen The Bank Job, right?
Yeah.
The Jason Statham. That's a good film.
Yeah. I watched the other one the other day, Villain, with Craig Fairbrass in it. That's a really good film.
I ain't seen that one. What was that on?
I think it's on Netflix at the moment.
I'll have a look out for that.
Do you know what, right? I watched Rise of the Foot Soldier for the first time the other night. Never ever watched it before. Yeah, finally watched it. But yeah,
like it? What was it, #1?
Yeah, the first one, yeah.
Oh, Carlton Leach one, yeah?
Yeah. It was all right. It was all right.
Yeah, I mean, look, the further they go on, it's more about the character stories like Pat Tate and Tony Tucker, but I just like them sort of films. I think Craig Fairbrass is one of the most underrated actors this country's ever produced. I think he's a brilliant actor.
Is he really? He seems to die a lot in films, doesn't he?
Die?
Yeah. He dies in He's in Cliffhanger, and he dies in there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. People forget he was in a massive film with Stallone, like Cliffhanger. But yeah, he's one of. But it's the Essex boys, isn't it? They always die in the end.
Yeah, that's it. Next one. Paul Anderson. Do you think Benny will ever become a decent Premier player? He's had fair opportunities so far.
Yeah, look, we all know Benrahma. He's a talent. He's got it there. I think he's been okay this season. I think he's finding his feet at West Ham. lot of pressure on him to come up from the Championship for a big price tag to play for a club like West Ham. But I think Moyes likes him. I think he works well. I like his link-up play with Fornals especially. I don't think him and Lanzini really work together. But if they did, fucking hell, imagine them two on the pitch together, like smashing it up. But I think Benny, I think he gets a lot of stick and unfair criticism sometimes.
I'll be honest, I think in a lot of games, I think he gets doubled up on.
Yeah, he's a target man.
People
know that when he's on the ball, he can make things happen. And I really like him. I think Benrahma is a really good player, and I've supported him since day one. And look, at the moment, Bowen's getting the headlines, rightly so. Declan Rice is getting the headlines. I think even Lanzini in the last few games, I think he's been back to the best that we know Lanzini can do. So I'm looking forward to seeing. Listen, he's a great first team player. He's a great squad player as well to have.
I said to I think I said to you, Gray, at Watford. I remember saying to the people who sit around me a few games before the AFCON that it'd be good to Benny to get away because he weren't really in form and all that. And then them last few games before he went to AFCON, his levels raised. He become really important in the side. He was involved in some of the goals and a lot of the build-up play. And I thought, we're finally seeing Benny. Then he goes off to the AFCON and he plays.
He didn't really get played, did he?
Yeah, one full game I think he played, and he's come back and he looks jaded again. He seems to revert back to that Benny that I've said he could do with getting away and take the pressure off a bit. It's a shame in a way. I think sometimes certain competitions come up at the right time for players, or breaks come up at the right time for players. And I think for his career in a West Ham shirt so far, I think that AFCON come at the wrong time for him.
Yeah, I agree. I think he was on top form before he went. But Candyman Sam Ryan, I remember Mr. Jones and Miss Calver. I do. Mr. Jones was my geography teacher. Was it geography? I'm sure it was. And Miss Calver was a PE teacher. So, yeah, I remember them. She was an horrible woman, she was. Mr. Leppard. Mr. Leppard was my favourite PE teacher.
Who's getting relegated? Seems like it's going to go down to the wire.
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? I mean, you know what? I don't know if it's because we are at the top of the table. I seem to concentrate more on the top of the table at the moment and look about where we're doing. But I looked at the bottom of the table the other night and I can't believe where Everton are. Everton are only like, if they lose their next two, they could be right in it. And they lost the other night. Lampard took over and they obviously beat Brentford in the FA Cup and everyone was buzzing, but they went to Newcastle and got battered. So they're right in it. And I mean, imagine if they got relegated. Imagine if Lampard got them down.
I don't think they've never gone down, have they? Since from the year they come into Division 1. I don't think they've ever gone down, have they?
Yeah, they haven't. Since they've been promoted into the top division, they haven't dropped out of it. I think it's only them and Arsenal are the only two teams that have never dropped out since they've been put in the top division. The thing is, I think Lampard going there is a massive gamble for them. Massive gamble. They I think to keep them up, they needed to go with more of a manager that's got a bit of a pedigree of fighting that relegation. Look, Lampard might do a good job there, but I just don't think that's the right fit. If you get what I mean, they're in a dogfight. They're in a dogfight, and I think
even like up until like you look at Aston Villa, that everyone's been buzzing about. They're 10 points clear of the relegation zone, so they're probably not in it. But 3 or 4 games without a win, and they're dragged in it. So it's going to go right down to the wire. I mean, Burnley have got 165 games in hand. Newcastle have pulled themselves out of it.
Yep.
But
I'll tell you what, though.
You're out of it, 1 week you're in it. I mean, it's like us. I mean, 3 weeks ago, Scott, everyone was saying we've got no chance of top 4. Look at fan cams the other night. We're back in the race. That's what happens with football. I mean, and everyone's saying about old Spurs who've got games in hand. They lost one of them the other night. They lost 3-2 at home to Southampton. So as we've always said, we'd rather have points on the board than games in hand. So it's going to be exciting at both ends of the table.
Yeah, this is probably one in the more exciting Premier Leagues. Probably not to see. Well, even Liverpool and are not really out of the title race at the minute. It's going to be hard for them to get there, but it's quite exciting because there's a lot up for grabs. Top four is wide open. Probably, I know Wolves lost to Arsenal the other night, but I think they'll still be in the reckoning for push for that top four. Leicester haven't hit any sort of form. They're struggling with injuries and stuff like that at the minute. And like you said, down the bottom there, it's going to be very, very tough to stay up. I think there may be a shock team that end up getting relegated.
Someone will get dragged into it over the net. Someone will go a bit of it. But I'm saying though, about you're talking about Lampard going to Everton. I think talking about Rooney earlier. Absolutely, 100% outstanding that he's staying at Derby. He wants to see it through. He could have gone. He could have gone to Everton and backed out of the situation at Derby, but then he's stayed. He's going to stick it. And the thing is, they've had 2 points deductions this year. If you take the form they're on, they'd be mid-table, and the thing is, they're not that far off of getting out of it.
I think they're
still
4
so.
points.
Like he's doing, so he's doing a great job, and I think it's like a massive credit to him staying, because he could have just gone, nah, sod this, and gone to Everton. But he didn't.
And that's the thing. I think he done what Lampard should have done. Lampard was at Derby. Lampard at Derby was doing a fantastic job, and he decided to leave to take the Chelsea job.
Yeah, but the thing is, Scott, with that situation, mate, I think it was a bit of a hard thing for Lampard, because when Chelsea come calling, it's hard to turn that down. Let's be honest. He probably thought, and to be fair to Lampard, I think he done a good job at Chelsea. Bearing in mind he couldn't sign anyone. They had a transfer embargo at the time.
Yeah,
I think he done a really good job. So it was just.
But the thing is, you say that with Lampard and Chelsea, Rooney's an Evertonian.
Yeah, but if all right, say for instance, if Man United would have come calling for Rooney, do you think he would have stayed at Derby?
I think he probably would have.
No,
I think he's. No, I think he's still Man U. That's a massive job, right? He'll need. I think he needs a few more years managing. Getting his experience, doing his apprenticeship before a job like that comes around.
To be fair, I don't. A Man U job. The Man U job is a job that you need to be a special kind of manager to take that at the minute. The way that club is. It's they're in a bad. The funny thing is, they're in a bad situation as a club with the way they're performing and stuff like that. But they're still winning around the top four. It's mental. It's mental when you sit there and look at that, and they're saying, they're in a bit of a shambles and all that, and they're still winning around the top four.
I mean, when you look at the Premier League table, I mean, Arsenal are 1 point behind us now with 2 games in hand, and they've had a shocking season. So we think, obviously, as West Ham fans, we think we're having a great season because we used to be down the bottom. But when you look at it like that, I mean, if Tottenham and Arsenal win all their games in hand, we could find ourselves down in 7th or 8th. But all we got to do as a football club is just concentrate on what we do on the pitch. And if we're winning games, we're still going to be up there. So it's exciting to be, as I said, I'd rather be fighting to get into that top 4 than stay at that bottom 3.
And that's the thing now with the fact that these teams have got their game in hand. Like Spurs, one of their games in hand is Burnley. I think you've got, and that's the thing now, where you're getting into this nitty gritty towards the end of the season. If these games are in hand that you have against sides that are in the bottom, trying to get out of that bottom 3, these games become a lot more tougher. Because teams are fighting for their lives. As we've seen, we've been in this situation before where we're down in that, fighting relegation, and we rock up at sides where you don't give us a hope in hell to win and get a result. So it's exciting with that top and that bottom. It's I'm looking forward to get to the end of the season. Wherever we finish, look, like you said, we keep putting the points on the board. Let everyone else, let's worry about us and worry about them. But going back to the original question, who I think is going to go, I think it will be Watford, Norwich.
I think this could be the year Burnley drop.
And I think Burnley are going to get out of it. The one I'm going to go for is Brentford.
Yeah, they're in a bit of a bad run of form at the moment as well. But I'd like to see Brentford stay up because I like the way they play football, and I think they've got some really good players down there. And you know what? They give and fair play to them. They took a gamble on Christian Eriksen to give him a chance back in the Premier League, which is great to see. You know, I know. Listen, Christian Eriksen, I know he's got his Spurs connections, but forget about that. As a human being, as a football fan, it's great to see him back involved in football, and I wish him well for the rest of the season.
Yeah, same, mate.
I love the way Brentford are run as a club as well.
Yeah,
I like their manager. I really like their manager.
I've got nothing against Brentford. I just think, as I said, I think there'll be a team sucked into it, and I think on the form that they're on at the minute, I think it's going to be them who get sucked into it.
Did you say Norwich go down?
Watford, Norwich, Brentford, yeah.
See, Norwich are a funny team because Dean Smith's a great manager, and I think they're one of them ones that if they just find that little bit of form, they could sort of drag themselves out of it. I mean, 3 months ago they were the worst team in the Premier League. We was all writing them off, and look at them now; they've given themselves a chance. So it's going to go right down to the wire in the Premier League in both ends of the table. I mean, Man City are 10 points clear now, but if they drop a couple of games and Liverpool keep winning, the title race could be right back open again. So it's exciting. And listen, we'd rather be doing it in the Premier League than in the Championship, wouldn't we? So let's just enjoy it. And listen, we've still got a European campaign to worry about as well, and an FA Cup run. We beat Southampton. We're in the quarterfinals. You're one game away from Wembley.
That's it. Yeah, that's the thing. We as we said before, we've got a lot of important games coming up now. Every game now for us is a cup final. If we want to stay in contact with that top four and push for, trying to get a trophy, it's going to be hard, but we can do it. We can do it. MCN says there, it would be a shame for QPR and Fulham to come up and Brentford to go down. You imagine if Brentford stayed up, QPR Fulham come up. Four West London derbies there, wouldn't you?
Too much West London in the Premier League. For my liking. I'd take them coming up and relegate Chelsea. That'd do me.
Another question here. Who's the worst dressed? Dan always looks like he's got his clothes on.
Remember lost property at school? Like you fucking, I forgot my PE kit. I'll go and get out. You end up in a pair of fucking hot pants and a boot shoe.
I've been washed for 4 years.
Who's the worst dressed? Yeah, I wouldn't want them picking my clothes out. Graham's always smart.
Depends what day
I'll try. Hey?
Depends what day you catch me on. But yeah, sorry, Lawless, I'm going to say you, mate. Lads, where's the best place to get a pint of Guinness near the stadium? I'm going to the Everton game in April. Hope you to do an interview with Nicky.
I don't think they serve Guinness in the ground, do they? Well, I've never seen it, so I suppose you'd have to go sort of local pubs around the area. Stratford High Street, there's some decent boozers on there. I mean, the closest one to the stadium is probably the Carpenter's Arms, isn't it? So, did the Hammers Chat boats do Guinness on there?
I don't remember seeing
Guinness, so I've never had to order it before. But
yeah, I'm
sure you'll find somewhere decent around there. There's a corner shop near the Carpenters that's always packed out. They serve Guinness in a can. I've seen people with Guinness in a can. So,
yeah, next one.
Go on, mate.
If any of you guys were to pick a fancy costume that you like, what would it be?
Elvis.
Stormtrooper.
Elvis. When I dressed up for my mum had a 60s party a few years ago and I went as Elvis. Well, I started off the night in the 1966 England shirt, Bobby Moore, number 6, comb my hair over. I had the shorts, the socks on, full kit wanker from the 60s, right? And then halfway through the night, I went upstairs and changed into an Elvis costume. And I come downstairs. My dad tried to chin me. He thought I was a stripper. He didn't recognise me. My dad went. He thought I was there fucking as a stripper. And my dad's old school, mate. He ain't having none of that around me old mum. You know what I mean? So, the Elvis costume was good. And I think I wore the Elvis costume to one of Nicky's fancy dress parties, his family ones, and I won the main prize as And it was good to have the wig on, the glasses, the cape, the belt, the suit. I felt like fucking Elvis, mate. I loved it.
Go on, Scott. What would yours be?
I ain't too sure, you know. My go-to fancy dress costume, because it's quite easy and I've still got it, is the old Top Gun outfit. The aviator one.
I love the. Do you remember when we had the 80s party years ago and me, Nicky, and Billy come as Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters. Yeah.
I love that. That honestly, when I put that suit on, I felt like Pete Vegman. Honestly, I loved it. It was a childhood memory. And then halfway through the night, I was singing on the karaoke with a fag hanging out of my mouth. I've never smoked in my life, so I don't even know why. I don't even know why I had a fag in my mouth. Yeah, great memory, great memories.
I bet the West Ham. Will Vlasic come good? I have my doubts. Flatters to deceive.
I think the last few games he's played, he's done well.
Mm.
You know, I've been impressed.
He's strong.
You can definitely see he's got something there. He's definitely got. He might be one of these players that might need a season in the Premier League, and then next season we might see a bit more of him. But I like him. I like Vlasic, and I think he's done well every time he's played.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see. Well, personally, I think we're starting to see signs of what he could become for us.
The thing for me with Vlasic is he seems to play well without doing much. There's his end product probably isn't the greatest, if you know what I mean. I'm going back to when I was saying this about Bowen as well, and he just, for me, he just seems to play a decent game without impacting on the game too much, if you get what I mean.
Goes about. He's efficient. Goes about his business.
Yeah, he goes about his business, but he doesn't stand out from the crowd, and I think that's why probably he gets a lot of people sort of saying that he isn't good enough and stuff like that. And I think playing in his position is a bit awkward for him, because you're looking at players like Benny, like Bowen, Fornals when he plays out wide to make an impact. And I just feel that he hasn't made that type of impact yet. And look, I hope he does come good. I really do. And I feel Moyes is trying to manage him the same way he managed other players. Maybe he doesn't think that he's a fully fledged starter in the Premier League yet, but he's given him his opportunity to come into the fold when needed. He's not played badly, but he's not set the world alight.
Yeah. Daniel saying, boys, can you do a shout out? Tell Kalen he has 10 minutes till bedtime. Kalen, I'm giving you permission to start till 10 o'clock, mate. Listen, Kalen's the goal scoring machine at the moment. His mum and dad are always putting on Twitter about him scoring goals. And, listen, we need a striker.
Future.
We might be. I might be begging Kalen's mum and dad for tickets for the lounges at West Ham. He's doing really well, bless him. So, Kalen, your mum's saying 10 minutes, but Graham's giving you permission to start for another one. Any more questions, Scott, before we go?
Yeah. Will X said, would you guys ever dye your hair?
No, because I'd look like Action Man.
No,
you'd look like Mikel Arteta with your syrup. No, I would never dye my hair. Like, do you know what though? The funny thing is I found a few greys coming in the front, and like I just think to myself, do you know what? It's life. I remember once when I was younger. I remember once when I was younger, I bleached my hair blonde to be like Gazza, and I looked more like Dean Windass, if I'm honest. I'd never dye my hair. I just natural in it. Just then again, listen. If we get sponsored by Just for Men, I'm all over it. I'm all over it. Get the brown. Get the brown. And Graham could go fire engine red for the ladies.
Do you know what? Like, I've always said this. If I start going grey, I'll probably dye my hair grey. I wouldn't. I don't want.
Like
Yeah, no, but I wouldn't want patches of grey, and I wouldn't dye my hair my colour. If I'm going to go grey, I'd rather go completely grey instead of having bits of grey here and there.
I couldn't imagine you were grey here.
Well, yeah, it's thing. Look, I'm touching Woody. I'm lucky. I ain't got no grey hairs at the minute.
I've literally got like one or two. Like I've noticed them, but I just like pull them out.
While we're talking about hair, was Mickey Scott, why are you challenging Ryan's Barnett? I think he commented earlier and said my hair's getting more and more like Ryan's every week.
I've seen a few people saying I've got to have an haircut. I had a haircut the other day. Look, I'm trying to grow it a little bit longer on top.
I can't. I wish I could grow my hair like yours, right? But I can't.
Yeah, my hair grow. Listen, in 2 weeks, I have to have my hair cut like every 2 weeks, maybe 3, because my hair grows. So even the hairdresser the other day, nice, lovely Turkish barbers, give you the old hot towel and massage and all that.
They do the old burn the ears at you.
Burn your ears. I'll tell you what though, he fucking caught me the other day. He fucking burnt me ear. He did. But listen, great. And then like he said to me, he was like running his fingers through my hair, and he said, "Oh, you got lovely thick hair." And I thought, hang on a minute, am I in a brothel or a barber's here? What's going on? Yeah, my hair's like I'm lucky. I've got good genes. My dad is in his 70s. He's got great hair. My granddad was the same. So I've got good genes. I ain't like the podcast lot with they've got about 6 hairs between them, and most of them are on their nuts.
People say that I'm acting like I've got no grey hair in my hair. I've got grey hairs in my beard, grey hairs in my body, just none on my hair yet. They will come. Time's going to come. My old man's grey, so it's going to happen.
Oh yeah, I'll just embrace it.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. If I start to go grey, I'm going to dye it grey.
Oh no, Ginger Carroll, get this question off because I'm not picking between them two. Hey, you know what, right? I was obsessed with a bill when I was a kid. I was so obsessed. I wanted to be a policeman, right? I was so obsessed with London's Burning. I wanted to be a fireman. I remember when I was at primary school, right, St. Helens Primary School in Canning Town, Glenn Murphy come into my school one day, right, because he knew the priest, right, and he brought him into my school because I went to a Catholic school. Mate, it was like meeting the Pope. I remember running up to him as a kid. I was about 19 at the time. No, I'm joking. I was a kid. And I remember saying, it's George from London's Burning. And I love it. I can't pick between them two. Sorry. Can't do it.
It is a tough question. They were both really, really good shows. Really
I always watch London's Burning more. So it's probably London's Burning.
Sunday nights on ITV, London's Burning, mate. But when sometimes when I have to go over to South London and I go past Bermondsey, you see the fire station. It's changed now because they've knocked it, like rebuilt it. But that was the fire station that they used to film there. And I always look at it and I think, oh, that's where Sick Note used to be. I love it. But I love the bill as well.
London's Burning, it was a proper fire station that I used to work at. I think the bill was a studio. I remember working round the corner. I think it's like it was over Mitcham type way over that southwest London.
They filmed it a lot in Wimbledon, sort of that way, didn't they?
Yeah, they used to be fair, they used to film it a lot on the estates in Lambeth as well. When you used to always see him around that way.
I remember when Billy Murray used to come in my work, and I used to call him Don Beach one time. I used to call him Johnny Allen another time. But I love it. Love them two shows. Ginger Carroll's caused a little bit of he stirred the pot there. He could have just chucked Only Fools and Horses in there and we'd have had a riot.
Dan Power said, hey, Graham, if you ever want to go baseball game in America, go see the New York Mets at Citi Field in Queens. I don't say it because others have. We all say it because it's true. The West Ham are like the Mets. Fans of both clubs have waited so long for a title. Mets haven't won a World Series since 1986.
If I ever get a chance to go to New York,
I'd love to do that. To go to a proper baseball game. And I think when you think of baseball, I think New York's probably the place to go. And obviously you got Boston as well. But no, I wouldn't mind doing a little bit of that.
Yeah,
we'll have a date night.
Yeah, in New York.
That's the concrete jungle where dreams are made of, Gray.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that is true. That is true. I remember I had to go and I was working. Where was I? So years ago we done some work on the set of Bad Girls. The prison and all that. We had to do some proofing now. And then we went down to. My brother ended up being in an episode of the show as well. But then we had to go down. This was back when, obviously, where the London Stadium is now, the Carpenters Road and all that sort of area. There was a set there where they built the outside of the prison because they couldn't keep travelling to where the prison actually was to do the filming. So they bought a set. So we had to go there and deliver a load of stuff because they were fitting pigeon spikes on it and things like that. And I remember going, while we were there, they took us on a bit of a tour. And there was a warehouse they had there that was set up. And that's where they filmed all the scenes. You know, when in London's Burning, when they go into a fire and you'd see them fighting the fire and all that actually inside or rescuing people, that type of thing. It's all purpose built with gas flamethrowers, that type of thing. It was really, really good, really interesting to see the way they did it.
I remember when they filmed London's Burning over Millennium Mills. Do you remember Millennium Mills near City Airport, the old abandoned building? I remember they filmed that. That was the one where what was his name? I can't remember. One of the main characters died. He fell from the top.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
that was all filmed over Millennium Mills. I remember them filming it there. But yeah, it's great shows. 2 great shows there. But
the one I always remember being filmed over Betts Gasworks when they filmed Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. I remember Oasis filming one of their music videos over there.
Yep.
Over
I remember that.
I remember seeing.
That was the last one to be filmed over there.
It was the one with the helicopters in it, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was the last one ever to be filmed over there because that's when after that they started doing it.
We were only young at the time and we had a thought, right, let's jump on a 69 bus, get down to Woolwich, make our way over there thinking we're going to get right next to Liam and Noel. Couldn't get nowhere near them. No. But we see the helicopters coming in as they was filming. So that was about as close as we got to Oasis at the time.
One of my old school friends, his old man worked on the set of Full Metal Jacket. You know them palm trees?
Scott, you look like the bloke that killed himself in Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, I've heard that a few times. But yeah, them palm trees, they were just in concrete bases. And his job at the end of it was just to go and knock them over. Like take a bulldozer and just go and knock them down. And they just left them there and, said that area is completely unrecognisable now when you look at it from that film.
Well, fucking Galleon's Reach now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy,
but,
mate.
Right. You got any more questions you want, or should we leave it there?
We can wrap it up, mate.
Yeah, we've gone on for 2 hours now. We're listen, Scott's got a preview coming up. First of all, thank you for everyone for getting involved tonight in the chat with your comments. As you know, you lot make the show because you give us stuff to talk about and interact with us. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for Nick popping on for his cameo for a half hour. As I said,
thanks to Miss Amaret for doing the modding for us.
Yes, thank you.
Miss Amaret. We're going to get you a tag team partner, Miss Amaret, to help you out with the comments. But yeah, thank you so much for doing that. What else? Me and Graham are heading up to the King Power Stadium on Sunday. He's taking the place of Scott because Scott's obviously got work now, unfortunately. But Graham's a good stand-in. He loves a bit of Leicester away. Does our Graham?
Always have a good day up there, don't we? Eh?
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting. I've kicked up such a fuss of going, and then work's come up. So
I wonder if the bouncers have recognised us this time, Gray. Again,
yeah, he did. Yeah, he did
last time. But yeah, we'll be in the canteen house from about 12:30, I reckon. Have a couple of drinks, not too much because we're working, but we'll have a couple of cheeky Jack Daniels as well in St. Louis. We're going up there with Andy. So yeah, looking forward to it. Scott will have his preview out tomorrow. He's filmed.
Yeah, Scott,
I've sent it over to the Lawless, so it's over there, mate. So
Scott, we've got another Kalen question.
Go on, then we'll quickly fit.
Needs answer.
Kalen's one.
Needs answer. Where's it gone? Hold on.
Is any you like M&M or Limp Bizkit?
I like them both.
I like them both. I think I sway more towards Eminem. I still say to this day that the best concert I've ever been to was Eminem at the London Arena in 2001. It was unreal, and I'm looking forward to seeing him on the halftime show. I think he's brilliant. But I like Limp Bizkit as well. I think yeah, I think they're both great. But I'll probably sway more towards Eminem. That was my sort of era growing up when I used to think I was a little rude boy listening to old Eminem.
I like them both. Limp Bizkit, they be good.
I do like them both. I've got to admit.
Yeah, Eminem's one of those that can keep going. Limp Bizkit have died off a little, but back in the day they were top notch. But yeah, Eminem's
keep rolling. Keep rolling. Now I know you'll be loving this shit right here. I know the lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah, they were really good. But yeah,
Eminem obviously.
He pulls it out the bag quite a lot, doesn't he? And he's brilliant at what he does.
London Arena, Eminem London Arena 2001 was just unreal, mate. Do you know how long ago that was, Scott? I remember buying my tickets off of someone at the Loot newspaper.
God.
The Loot.
One of my mates.
We had to go to Forest Gate to pick the tickets up from some random bloke's house. I thought, oh my God, what am I doing here? I'm like 16, 17 at the time. But it was unreal.
One of my workmates saw, I don't know whether it was a Brixton Academy or something like that, but he saw Eminem before he was big and massive in a small venue. And, you just think like how it is now to see him way back then. Years ago, my brother saw U2 as a support act. To someone he was watching, again in a small venue, and there's certain things that certain artists that if you get to see them in a small venue, it's completely different and so much more intense.
Well, that's what I love about. I don't know if you ever went to the London Arena, but that was quite a small venue. I say small venue, but compared to the O2 and Wembley and that now, it was a right. Lovely venue and that, and I still remember. It's a shame they had to knock it down because obviously the O2 become an arena, and the old Docklands Arena, as it was called back then, got knocked down. But yeah, it was a great venue. But yeah, I'll sway more towards.
If you like small venues, you ever get a chance, go to the Brixton Academy. That's a nice.
I'll tell you what's another good small venue, the O2 Indigo. You ever been in there?
Yeah, no, I've not been in that one.
That's a really good venue. And you should always look out because they get some really good people in there, and they don't advertise it as much. You've got to go on the O2 website, but no, it's a really good venue in there. You get a lot of comedians in there, a lot of singers, people that can't really sell out the O2, the main arena, but the O2 Indigo is quite a good little venue.
Very much so.
Now I know you'll be loving this shit right here. Right. Let's end it now. It's gone on for 2 hours and 7 minutes and 27 seconds. So yeah, look, we'll be back over the weekend with loads of Leicester stuff to build up. Scott's got his preview. Me and Graham be up there, so fan cams will get fucked up somehow. Well, me and Graham might do a little match reaction after. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. We'll be up there. I'm sure Dan's going to do a watch along. Nicky might join him on that. So yeah, look, if you're going to the King Power, we'll see you up there. Come and see us for a fan cam. And yeah, that's it. Keep subscribing as always, as it says there. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. If you're watching now, hit the thumbs up. It helps us out a lot. Really enjoyed tonight's show. A lot of good debates. We went from Zouma to talking about Limp Bizkit. That's what Friday Night Pint is all about. So it's been great. So Graham, as always, mate. So hang on, before I get to you, Scott, you got anything to say?
No, mate. We've covered it all.
You could have said, watch my preview.
Oh, yeah, watch my preview when it goes up. I'm trusting the man Lawless to get it sorted for me.
Oh, yeah, he'll do it, mate. He's bang on it. He'll sort it out. Graham, I'll leave you with the last words, mate.
Yes, everyone have a good weekend. Everyone travelling up to Leicester Sunday. Safe journey, and we'll see you up there.
Lovely. Top, mate. Top bloke, Graham. I'm looking forward to sharing that car with you, going up there and coming back, mate. Because I know that you're going to make sandwiches.
Sandwich. Cheese and pickle sandwich.
As always, one thing left to say. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.
3 points this weekend. Come on, West Ham.